what's going on, headbangers? How are you? All right, I'm reporting to you from outside my house where I've been packing my things because I needed the space, because in a few short hours I will be getting in the car and heading down to Washington Reagan International Airport, where I will then board a plane to go to New Orleans, Louisiana. Why, you may ask? Because I was very fortunately lucky enough to be invited to go hang with the band I Am, who are convening at OCD Studios to, I don't know if maybe they're writing new songs, maybe they're just jamming, who knows what, but regardless, I was very lucky enough to be invited and, do an interview, who knows what, we'll see, right? But the thing of it is, though, is this. A couple weeks ago, I was also very lucky because my good buddy James from the Friendly Men had an interview lined up with Andrew Spaulding, who, you may know him. He heads up Corpsepaint Records, who will be responsible for putting out, well, hell, they've already put out Dreams Always Die with the Sun, and we got Crypto Amnesia on the horizon as well. But nonetheless, Corpsepaint Records is the label for I Am. So anyway, he had an interview lined up with Andrew, but not only Andrew, also Todd Strange as well. You know Todd from the Down NOLA album as well as the Crowbar album. So he says to me, he's like, Joe, do you want to be included in the interview too? And I said, of course, that's huge. I mean, yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. So I'm going to share a couple excerpts of my interview with Andrew. At one point, we were waiting for Todd, so it was just me and Andrew chopping it up, and I asked some questions about, basic stuff. What was the experience like when you got the guys together and everything? So I'm going to share that with you. Whoa. That's one of my rings. Blooper maybe, right? So, all right, I'm going to try to bring you whatever I can during my time down in New Orleans. And also a big bonus that's going to be included is I have been told that the guys from October Noir, if you haven't heard them yet, check them the hell out. All I'll say is if you like Typo Negative, you need to know October Noir. But anyway, so I will be chopping it up with those guys too. Where, I don't know, whether it's a hotel bar or a bar somewhere on in the French Quarter. What is that street there? You can tell I'm a newbie to New Orleans, right? Or I will be, because I've never been there before. But where that's going to go down, I don't know. What we're going to talk about, I don't know. But either way, though, I'm going to bring it to you. So, all right, my friends, here's what I got with me and Andrew. Andrew, how are you, man?
Hey, dude. Awesome, man. I just wanted to give you a big shout out and say it's nice to meet you face to face. I know we've left some comment and out there in the social world, but I've been a fan of your content, and I'm super stoked on all the kind words you gave. I Am as we were leaking stuff out that you're kind enough to put your reaction to the snippets, and so I was super stoked and grateful. So thanks, dude. It's really nice to finally get face to face with you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I remember my reaction, and this is not an ounce of a lie. I'll never forget this. Okay, I don't remember where I read the headline. I think it was probably Metal Injection. Something's telling me that, yeah, I think it was Metal Injection. And I read the headline. It says former members of Typo Negative, Crowbar and Down team up. And the first word out of my mouth, I read it and I go, yes, just like that. I didn't know anything about the project. It could have sounded like, K-pop for all I knew. But I read that, and that was the first word that came out of my mouth. It was, yes, it was something that, like, it makes so much sense. And, the mystery from that point, because I think there was a good amount of time leading up to the first snippet that we heard, which was that little, with Dreams Always Die with the Sun part. And I just remember thinking, I was like, what is it going to sound like?
It was definitely magical. It went way better than what I was anticipating. I knew it was going to be magical, but how magical, I don't think I was even prepared, because it was all kind of surreal looking back, because it was just, I literally flew all those guys in one day and assembled them, and 3 of them from in Orlando, and then we drove to Sarasota, and then Johnny flew into Sarasota. While I was picking Johnny up, the other 3 were getting familiar with the studio and their instruments and the rehearsal. And then I literally got Johnny off the plane, and the guys have been playing for maybe an hour and a half. And Johnny, they had a kit set up, and Johnny tunes it up and starts playing in they're all just kind of like unwinding from their travel day with instruments, all standing in the room like, here we are, you know, bling, yeah, and then I think the first like group jam was Van Halen Unchained. It
Oh,
ripped into a riff, and Todd like immediately, you know, and then Johnny and they were off and running, and you know, Kirk obviously joined in. So as everybody was finding the right tones for that day to be familiar with, and you know, playing stuff, that was the first thing I remember, and I knew from that moment it was going to be fine, because it was, they instantly talked, you know what I mean, and there was no, it was, of course it wasn't polished, but it was together, it was a band, they were following each other.
okay, now that's you bring something up that I have thought about a lot when I've like imagined how this jam went, well, jam, I kind of gave it away, but how this, you know, meeting went down, and you know, it was that first hour. You mentioned that hour. I'm wondering if like Kenny and Johnny at any point here, Kirk, rip into something and think in their heads like, wow, you know what? Like, it's Kirk Windstein right there. That's some serious NOLA, you know, Kirk and Todd, serious crowbar sludge going on there. And like, I just, that's that sort of like magical stuff that I think the fan thinks about, you know, and contemplates and all that stuff. And it's just like, man, what must it have been like inside that jam session? And like, damn, you
Yeah,
know.
I like I said, I dropped them off, I checked into the studio, um you know, met up with the guy that was running sound that day, that you know, kept the lights on, and you know, showed us where all the switches are, so he was got those guys, so they were, I wasn't there, you know, because I had to go pick up Johnny, and so I don't know like what it was when I came back. They were all hanging out, and you know, were, you know, you could tell of, you know, making small talk while they're tuning their gear, and then you know, once Johnny got in, they were, you know, it was like, hey, here we all are, and then from there, like I said, it was just small talk, airport winding down. Johnny's daughter does not live far from where we were. And so he was really excited that she was going to drive in to see him. So Johnny
Oh,
was like really happy. He's like, I'm gonna see my daughter. And so he was
oh,
excited to play, you know what I mean? So the energy was like, you're gonna see your daughter. That's what I could say. It was like just that positive, cool,
wow.
like that's what we were messing with. Like in the room, everybody was feeling excited, like that there was this new family of past and present and current, all just kind of like of melding, of, because everyone has daughters in the room. You know, Todd doesn't have a daughter, he has a son, but this age group, you know, all in there. But anywho, so the point being is that there was, you could instantly just see there was a family vibe already, and that just, you know, spoke out. And then when they did the Van Halen cover, that just kind of led into playing some riffs, and then they were talking about Sly and Family Stone, and Todd started playing the bass line, and Johnny said, hey Todd, drive that bass line, and Kenny had that riff, and that's, and then it took off, it wrote itself.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh
And
man.
Todd started went, dun, 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 and then from there it was arrangement. You know, Kenny had the body, and Kirk had his, what he brought. Obviously you can tell where when Kirk, you know, his main
Yeah.
staple on that, it's pretty big, you know, like he's a riff lord. So anyways, uh totally, so it was really cool just to see like the puzzle go together effortlessly, and everyone just, again, they spoke the same language consciously and unconsciously, like they have all, because they're all seasoned vets, and so that was cool. There was no egos in the room, it was all just positive, a bunch of dads energy, you know, dude. So there wasn't like they didn't approach it like we're these rock stars. They approached it like we have this fire inside of us, and let's ignite it, you know, like well, they like approached each other like with that tactic, instead of like I got this to prove. It's like, I don't have anything to prove, like like mega powers activate, like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. I don't know if you guys use the rest of the mega powers. It was like it was like the handshake, you know. It was like that's what it felt like, you know. He's like you saw it, that, and it was cool, and it still is, and that's only has grown more. They've become way more close, and it's been just way exciting watching it all grow, and them being as excited as I am, pun intended.
Yeah.
As exciting as fans are, which has been the coolest, because it really is just one big circular reciprocation of appreciation and satisfaction of everybody loves what's happening and people are appreciating it. They're loving doing it. You know what I mean? There's no, it's just, there's nothing stopping it. There's only like positivity growing around all the reviews. You know, there's been one or two maybe sour comments. You know, some people, you know, are experts, of course, in the field, and of course they're gonna have your opinion. I'm not going to bash folks that that don't like, because it's okay. It's a duality world. Everybody's not going to like it, but for when the masses, 99.9% have just been nothing but love and really have enjoyed it and excited for more. That's been such a cool thing to watch and to be a part of, in the sense of, you know, of the different messages that you'll see that people will send me, even of, you know, of how what's going on just with the band, of the excitement in it is somehow made a positive change for them in their life, or giving them something to look forward to.
Damn. Wow. Well, Joe, that was a great